know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about, but unfortunately I'm going to be no help because I can't think of the eloquent quote, but I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
Somebody can help us out. Hey, Empowered Vegan Lifers, Ella here with my co-host Stephanie. What's going on, Stephanie?
Hey, Ella. Not a whole lot. We're kind of back in isolation mode, my family and I, a little bit. We're not quarantining by any means, but COVID cases are kind of on the rise and school events are being minimized. And so, yeah.
We are all so COVIDed out.
I know we are. But I was sitting on the couch yesterday. We have this huge secondhand couch. It's just that allows for all of us, including the dog, just to kind of lounge around. I know. I can't even fathom getting rid of it. But yesterday we were all kind of laying and sitting on the couch, and I'm working from home and the kids are too, and we were all kind of just around, and I was like, okay, I can do this, and I can, there are some positives to all of this, and having them right here is pretty damn nice, really.
Oh, no, I think that's such a great point and a great way to look at it. And everything's a shift in perspective. We can just make a shift in perspective. I know a lot of our Vegan Life Coach Academy members were talking about really wanting to get back to the gym, and a lot of gyms are still closed. Valeria in Italy said her gyms are completely, or they got shut back down until November 24th. And people are going back into lockdown. Though then there are people like Jennifer she's just loving working out in her garage. She's got her heavy bag set up. So, I mean,
I know. When she talked about that, I was like, maybe I should think about that. But I love going to the gym. So
me too. I need to get out of the house.
Yeah.
My social hour too. I love my gym. I love my gym. Sobe Kick, big shout out, Johnny Rock, for my second home, for Shy's second home, for 10 years now. Can you believe that?
I can't, although I can actually, because I've experienced Sobe Kick secondhand. Well, I don't know, maybe virtually, I should say, not secondhand. There you go. Virtually, I've experienced Sobe Kick, and I love that energy. And of course, I hear from you too, how wonderful it is. So
speaking of energy, I love our energy when we get on these to record. Yeah. I was just thinking about that. It's like, I don't care what mood I was in. It's like once we get on and start chatting, it's like the rest of the world kind of disappears. It's so easy to be present and feel just joyful. It's really pretty amazing.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Too. And we record on Friday mornings. And Fridays are always kind of my day where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just tired. I'm exhausted. But getting up in the morning to do this is always a pleasure, because I love you so much. And I enjoy spending that time just talking. And we have some incredible listeners too, that just kind of infuse us with good vibes.
True. It is so true. And I so love you even more. I know we it's like a contest. We always have this contest. Yes. It's like a love fest here. No, I love you more. No, I love you more. That's what couples do. That's what couples do. As we are.
Yeah.
But anyway, speaking of that as well, I've got exciting news, because Ann, some of you know her from episode 3 or 2, I believe 3.
Yeah. Very early on.
Yes, very early on. We brought Ann Molina on because she is the founder of Hogs and Kisses Farm Sanctuary, which I am on the board of as well. And she's coming down to visit. She lived in Miami for many, many years. That's how we know each other. And today we are going to visit Aguacate Sanctuary of Love.
Oh,
That's
what a
right.
lovely name. Oh my
I
goodness.
know. I know. So it's actually a wellness sanctuary, they call it, but they do have animals as well, and a juice
Okay.
bar. So I've never been. It's right here in Miami. And so we're gonna go check that out. Get my animal fix in
Yeah.
for the day. I cannot wait to get our sanctuary opened. I am so excited. In fact, for that reason, we're gonna bring Ann on the podcast.
Yes.
It's time for an
Oh,
update.
absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, and I mean, Anne is so wonderful. I love listening to her talk. I mean, she just has such amazing ideas, and she has, just she has such great energy too. So,
She
yeah.
does. Man, surrounding yourself with good energy, positive energy, there's nothing more important. I mean, they
Mhm.
talk about
Yeah.
surrounding yourself with, what is it? Oh gosh, here's where I get things all mixed up, especially in the morning, Stephanie. So you're gonna have to help me make this point because this is where things go sour. When you're supposed to surround yourself with people like that you want to learn from and be like
Mhm.
intellectually and spiritually, but there's some really graceful way of saying it. Like it's some quote maybe that I'm thinking of. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about, but unfortunately, I'm going to be no help because I can't think of the eloquent quote. But I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
Somebody can help us out. That's what our Empowered Vegan Life Facebook group is for, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
guys listening to us, and then there's going to be somebody who has something to say about something. Maybe you're helping us out like right now with
Mhm.
that quote that we're trying to think of. Or we've had such positive reviews actually lately of people
Yeah.
it makes me feel so good when somebody comes on and just says how much fun they have listening, how much they're
Mhm.
learning, but even more importantly, just how much excitement it brings, and just some smiles and even some laughter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
important right now.
It really is. It is. It's not only important to, to find ways to grow, but sometimes it's just important to find ways to laugh and to, just to kick back and relax for a minute. And so I'm glad we're a part of that. It always warms my heart when people say that they've put us on during a drive or during a walk, or just during that time, and just, yeah, it makes you feel good. Makes you feel good.
Yeah. Speaking of growth, one thing that we start out for you guys listening who are not a member of Vegan Life Coach Academy, we always start out our Thursday. We have Thirsty Thursday Power Hour Q&A, where we tell people to bring their juice or smoothie or BCAAs from Clean Machine, which I'll put the link in the show notes to
Yeah, I
Clean
do.
Machine, our favorite BCAAs.
Mhm.
For a Q&A and for just catching up. I just love those Thursdays, as well as the group coaching calls that you run once a month. These are every week, and we do a lot of celebrating. And one of the celebrations we had this week was Valeria, who I wouldn't say her name, but I think she's very happy to share. So
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
I think she's fine with me saying her name. But you had a great mantra this week, and she talked about the mantra and how helpful it was, and it was about self-care, right?
It was. I lovingly give myself time and space to grow and change.
Yes. So we have these incredible Mantra Monday posts that Stephanie does every week, and everybody kind of embraces the mantra for the week. And Valeria, and I have what she wrote here because it was just so inspiring. She said, I love the mantra this week. This is exactly what I am doing, but I am so late with some work deadlines that I keep questioning if I am doing the right thing by taking this time to myself.
Mm.
But after yesterday, I am more than ever convinced that I need this time, even if I have to make it shorter. So I exercised for 45 minutes rather than 1 hour. I wanted to skip my meditation, but then I thought of micro habits and I did a 5-minute meditation. I just need these things to function and to give me a sense of routine, of days being days. I work from home and you can't get out much, so time, days become just one blurry thing. Sunday, Monday, etc. doesn't mean anything if I don't make them mean something. I might be late for my deadlines, but at least I am mentally healthy. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is huge.
It really is. And she just put into it what I think so many of us are thinking.
Yes.
And it is kind of that crush of, there's always something to do.
Always.
But yeah, exactly. There's always going to be a distraction. There's always going to be a sideline to what we need to take care of ourselves. And yet taking that pause and doing what we need to for ourselves actually makes us more efficient if we're talking productivity. But it also, keeps us peaceful and calm, and in a time where that's not necessarily, normal.
Right.
With giving
big
it
air quotes.
Big air quotes. Yeah.
Big air quotes.
Right.
Normal. Well, what happened to normal? I don't even know.
I don't even know. I mean, normal wasn't even normal when it was normal. So
oh, we can't even open up that can of worms right now.
Right.
Oh,
Exactly.
But
exactly.
Yes, we all know. We all know.
Yeah. I do remember a quote, and I won't say it. I don't know it word for word. So I just remember, well, I just realized I'm going to paraphrase a quote when I said I just remembered the quote, but I don't really remember the quote. But it's about, just taking 10 minutes a day to meditate. And if you think you don't have time, you better take an hour. And I love that, because when it is the crush of life, we do need to go inward even more and, shore ourselves up. So.
Agreed. 1000%.
Yeah.
So today, what I thought we'd do, and I know I said I was going to surprise you, Stephanie. So
you did say you were going to surprise me.
For everybody listening.
Yeah. I have something that's funny about us too, is that if you say, oh, Stephanie, I'm going to surprise you, I'm like, oh, okay. Awesome. But if I were to say that to you, I don't know, it wouldn't be the same reaction. That's for sure.
Why do you say that?
Well, I'm super type B and you are type A all the way. You like to have an agenda and
I do. So I just love that about you as well. And it just is such a good compliment to one another in those ways, because of course I'm going to know what we're doing. And you literally were able to show up like you didn't even ask. Because usually I'll tell you, or I'll say, will you work on what the topic for this week will be? And then you'll do it. And then I'm happy to be surprised because I assigned the task. And then you always tell me in advance anyway, and then we go over it. And yes, we're so prepared. So this time, I didn't even say anything. And I was like, she's going to assume that I'm going to have a surprise for her. And so there we go. The surprise is that we are actually going to answer real questions from about one specific topic from our Vegan Life Coach Academy members.
Oh, cool. I love this.
Yes. Yeah. So this is totally unprepared responses here. But these are things that we deal with and have been dealing with with our clients, with our members for years. So this is nothing new, but I figured we use a real life, question to introduce it. So let's go there. So there are actually two that are around the same topic. So I'm gonna go ahead and say both questions and then we can go from there. First one, I really appreciate the mindfulness and intuitive eating. I think that's how I was before becoming vegan, and now I struggle with portions. Sometimes I'm hungry in 30 minutes and then I feel like I overeat too often. I feel uncomfortably stuffed. What's going on? And the second one is, why do you eat only half a cup of chickpeas for a meal versus a whole can? Is it because half a can fills you up? how do we know we are not overeating? So
both of those are really good questions.
They're good questions. They're really similar. So I thought I'd just throw them out at once. And one is actually addressing me personally with her question about chickpeas. Talk about chickpeas like they're going out of style. So where should we begin? Where should we begin with this, Stephanie?
Well, overeating has so many components to it. And I think that when you're learning to eat intuitively, that overeating can become a big fear.
Yes.
Because you are trying to break new patterns. And we think if we don't have a plan, if we don't have our macros, in line, that we're going to overeat, as if we didn't overeat before we knew what macros we were supposed to be, adhering to. So there's a lot of components to that. So let's start there.
Yes, we're going to need to break it down a little more, because first of all, let's start with the fact that we've been taught our whole lives that our bodies don't know best, that a meal plan or a diet knows best, and that we should ignore our bodies and focus on what we are told, what rules we are given for a particular type of diet, so that we can achieve the goals, which for the most part, for the vast majority of people, means losing weight. Right?
Yeah.
So the reason we don't eat intuitively, because you think about a child, a baby, and as long as they're not given, physically addictive foods, babies will say, no, I don't want any more. They will eat as much as they want to. Toddlers eat as much as they want to. They know when they're full. They know when they're hungry. They cry when they're hungry. We have that innate ability to know how much to eat and to know what foods to eat, what foods work really well with our bodies. The problem is we are taught from a very early age that that's not important. Parents, you have to finish your meal. Well, I'm not hungry. It doesn't matter. You can't leave the table until you finish your meal, right?
Yeah.
There's just so much of that going on in our lives that now, to get to that point where you're like, okay, I want to get back to that. I want to be able to, it's a learning process.
It is.
It's not just a mindset. It's the mindset plus a process of relearning to listen to your body.
Yeah.
And sometimes our bodies are so fed up with us. I mean, if we want to just put it simply, they're like, you've been ignoring me for so long. I'm not going to even talk to you anymore.
Right. So true.
I remember when Valerie came to us and was like, I don't know when I'm hungry. I don't know when I'm full. I just know how to follow a plan. And I'm terrified to stop following that plan. Because I will be lost.
Yeah. It really is about reframing that relationship with ourselves and putting ourselves as the expert of our bodies. Because really at the end of the day, our bodies don't trust us anymore, for sure. But have we ever really, as adults, trusted our bodies? The answer is no. We've put ourselves in the passenger seat, rather than driving it. We have allowed someone else to become the expert. And in the end, where does that get us? Most of the time that gets us unhappy and unfulfilled and hungry or angry, or, with like Valerie experienced, that whole idea of, I don't even know when I'm hungry, let alone when I'm full. So.
Yeah, but it is possible. Valerie did it. She jumped right in and she did it. She followed our process. She followed the tools that we teach, and she is all the better for it now. Years later, she is with us for life. She is a lifetime Vegan Life Coach Academy member, because she believes in this stuff so much. So speaking of real life examples, let me tell you about the chickpeas, so we can put some context behind this whole thing. So the amount of chickpeas I eat, I basically know now, and I had to go through the whole process myself of learning how to figure this out. But I learned that chickpeas in the morning are my perfect morning food based on my schedule and my body. Here's the deal. I work out depending on when my class is at either 10:30 or 12 o'clock. So those are an hour and a half apart. I know when I wake up, I like to have 12 hours between dinner and breakfast. Those 12 hours seem to be enough for me. It's not a rule, but it's basically the amount of time I know I need to feel kind of fresh, like I'm starting fresh in the morning, like my food is digested completely and I get to start kind of fresh for the day. So when I'm hungry in the morning, I get up at 4:44, usually about 6:30, I'm ready for 6:37, I'm ready for food. The amount of chickpeas I eat, whether that be a half a can, 3/4 of a can, or a whole can, is based on when I'm working out and if I still feel any fullness from the night before. So if I'm totally feeling like a fresh start and I'm working out at 10:30, usually about a half a can of chickpeas with avocado and sometimes some chopped up spinach or arugula is the perfect food, the perfect amount of food. And it will, when I eat mindfully, which I always do, mindfully chewing my food to a paste, which always sounds gross when I say it, I know, but it's so helpful to do that for your digestion. So when I do that, I basically make a smoothie in my mouth. But again, I know that sounds nasty, but it's what I do. Making a smoothie with chickpeas, because chickpeas are so packed, such a combination food. You know, they're so packed with fiber, with protein, complex carbs. It is like the perfect food when I eat it mindfully to not have me feel heavy, but have me be able to work out with tons of energy, feel like I have my full strength, get the most out of my workout without ever feeling hungry, but also not feeling too full.
Yeah.
Just having it just right. If I'm working out at 12, that's an hour and a half later. I know exactly how much I need to eat to have that same feeling at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that took experimentation. I was doing fruit for a long time in the morning, just fruit. And I would get hungry when it was time to work out. I was eating a smoothie, a superfood smoothie. And even though it was packed with all this nutrition, I still didn't feel quite satisfied. And I still got hungry. So when I started thinking outside the box and saying, you know what, this doesn't have to be a breakfast, in quotes, food. Why does it, why do we think we have to eat certain foods in the morning that they are meant for the morning? Usually those foods are not even healthy foods, the healthiest foods we can have, which doesn't make any sense either.
Right.
But we can start thinking outside the box and say, okay, what would work? And chickpeas are just one of the legumes that can work. I mean, lentils, any of the beans for me really do the trick. I just am a chickpeaholic. So chickpeas are my usual example. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It makes a lot of sense. I know when I started diving into this, one thing that was really surprising to me was the times I was hungry, when I was really listening to my body, and I realized that I was hungriest and needed the most calories in the beginning of the day. Whereas it was all based on what my family needed or what I was used to doing. And, so I had to start really listening to that part of things. And by the end of the day, I'm really usually not very hungry and really don't need a whole lot. And so really looking at, what my body was needing versus, what my, socially, what was going on, emotionally, what was going on, and why I was taking in all of the calories at the end of the day when I really wasn't all that hungry. That part was really, really important to me. And so it wasn't necessarily always the specific foods. It was more thinking about kind of this broader issue of, listening to my body, listening to its cues, and then also figuring out surrounding that why I was doing what I was doing. So yeah,
that's why
expanding the chickpea.
Thank you. And that's why we've got to look at the big picture.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no question about it, because there's the physical piece of getting, building that relationship with your body and understanding and experimenting and exploring what foods make you, give you energy that help you be satisfied, and for how long, and how does that work with your schedule and your family, and what about social gatherings and events and going out to dinner? These are all pieces of the puzzle. Yeah. And then there's the whole piece of disordered eating, of emotional eating that causes overeating. And we have a whole episode about disordered eating that I will put in the show notes as well. So if that's something that you struggle with, definitely, if you haven't listened to that episode, go there right after this one. A little binge session here, binge on podcasts episodes, not food, to help with the binging of the food. But yeah, so that's why we always look at the big picture.
Yeah.
And it's more often than not even about the food at all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something we say a lot in Vegan Life Coach Academy, is that it's rarely about the food. We get so focused in on the food, but that's because it's the easiest problem to take care of, really.
Yes. It is. It is the easiest part.
Yeah.
By far. And so, yes, we've got to have that knowledge of nutrition, that foundational knowledge of plant-based nutrition, which we of course teach at Vegan Life Coach Academy, but we don't stop there by any means. We've got to look at the big picture. And a lot of people come in for the nutrition education and then realize that there's so much more going on there that has never been addressed, which is exciting. Because when you say you think you've tried everything, not you think, people come in, I've tried everything. And I've yo-yoed my whole life.
Yeah.
But they haven't tried what we've got.
Yeah, exactly. And I love when new members come in, because, you kind of feel that energy from them. It's like, oh, what am I going to eat? What am I supposed to eat? And then they have all of these questions about amounts and macros. And if I don't count my macros, then what's going to happen to me, and all of this. And you can see the other members kind of gather around them and be like, it's going to be okay. You're going to figure this out. It's going to be different. It's going to be challenging, but you're going to be, that this kind of anxiety is going to resolve because you've got the answers,
So true. It's interesting. We've only opened the doors twice so far.
Yeah.
But both those times, when we get a new set of members in, and those Q&A sessions on Thursdays come up, and the first few weeks, oh man, I've got a ton of questions, mostly surrounding, nutrition and fitness, and they're all pouring in. And so I answered them, and we also have a great new feature on our website with all the trainings that we have available to our members. We have a searchy feature. It's called a searchy feature, where you can actually search through videos. So you can put in a keyword like B12, for example, and the training videos that address B12 at the exact time frame when they're addressing B12 come up. So it's not just about the words on the screen, it's actually about the voice of the video. So that's been a helpful feature too. But more often than not, it's like those nutrition questions fade out so quickly, and we go into that mindset in those group coaching calls on that Saturday of the month. They get deeper and deeper and more powerful every single month. It's quite extraordinary.
It is. And it's really about fitting those pieces of that puzzle together and realizing that it's all connected. That the reason that you eat the bag of Oreos at night is really connected to all of those things that went on during your day or during the month, or, that have really nothing to do with the Oreos. And it's really interesting to watch people get there.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love that process.
I love it too. It will be something I never get tired of, and something that so many people are seeking, and even if they don't quite know they're seeking it yet, there are people seeking answers that they haven't figured out. And it's one of those things, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
I say that a lot because that's the most exciting thing in the world to me. When you're open to new possibilities, when you're open to discovering things that you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing more, I don't even know the word for it, but just invigorating, and it's beyond exciting, but it makes life like a game. Like we always say, play life like a game. It makes it a game to be able to discover those things and know that there are endless things to discover.
Exactly.
As we move through the rest of our lives, we will never get to the point we know everything that we thought we didn't know. It's never going to happen.
Exactly.
And that's
and it's right. And it's getting over that fear of diving deeper, of that fear of, once you know, it's a little bit daunting, really. Yeah. And then it becomes a game, just figuring yourself out. And it's,
And as people start to get there, and that playing life like a game mantra starts to click for people, I just love being there when that happens. And it's happening. It is happening at Vegan Life Coach Academy. So if you guys listening are not a member yet, if you're a member already, you know what we're talking about. If you're not a member yet, get on our wait list. We only open the doors sporadically because we like to bring people in groups so that we can just foster the intimacy that we have going on in that group. So get on the wait list so you'll be the first to hear all about it when we do open the doors again. We would love to have you. Yeah. And I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Anything else, Stephanie?
I can't think of a thing.
Yes. Well, we will have more good questions to answer coming up on future episodes. But next episode, we will be talking to Ann about the sanctuary and about pigs and all sorts of fun topics. So I cannot wait for that. Yes.
I love it.
All right, you guys. If you haven't left us a review yet, if you could take 30 seconds and go leave us that review, we would really appreciate it. And of course, share with your friends, with your family. This podcast is for everyone.
That's right. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. Until next time.
Until next time.